As much as we'd like to believe this season could see an unexpected title challenge, it doesn't look likely. Chelsea are rebuilding their backline after a contract apocalypse decimated their defence. Arsenal have added well, but remain a couple of years away from their youngsters powering a true tilt at the trophy, and Tottenham would need to add over 20 points to last year's total to get near Manchester City and Liverpool, something which seems beyond the powers of even the great Antonio Conte. So, for the 6th successive season, we're expecting the two northern giants to battle it out, and the only real question is which will edge out the other. The level these clubs have reached is insane, with only one campaign in the last 5 seeing neither of them achieve at least 90 points, but making the race more unpredictable than ever is the squad turnover both have undergone in the summer window, with superstars like Erling Haaland and Darwin Nunez arriving in the northwest, and decorated veterans like Sadio Mane and Raheem Sterling moving on. On today's FD Explained, we're digging into the transfers, the numbers and the form book to see what we can look forward to in the 2022-23 season, who could make the difference and where each team's weak points are. See what you think and let us know your prediction in the comments. Champions City enter the year as bookies' favourites to retain their crown, but while those numbers put them ahead in the race, the stats suggest the 22-23 season will be anything but a straightforward coronation. As usual, both these sides blew away the opposition, ending with goal differences of plus 73 and plus 68, each roughly as good as Chelsea and Tottenham put together. And while City were better off in this category, with a plus 5 goal difference on their rivals entirely thanks to the attack, bagging 5 more than LFC while conceding the same number, the XG tells the opposite story, with Liverpool edging the underlying numbers in attack by just 0.2, while in defence the citizens were rated as roughly 7 goals better. This may explain why Pep has drastically rejigged the attack in the transfer window, with the defence basically unchanged. So overall, City managed about 1.6 XG more than their opponents per game to Liverpool's 1.45. City had a plus 12.6 shot difference each match to Liverpool's 11.4, and they passed into their opponent's danger zone more and let opponents into theirs less. So the picture is clear, right? City are simply a better, more complete side than Klopp's men. Well, it's not that simple. Firstly, we're talking margins at the highest level here. Across Europe's top 5 leagues, these two teams took more points per game than any other, despite Bayern and PSG facing appalling domestic competition, and only the German giants kept up with their XG difference per game, slotting between the English sides on 1.5 per 90. That means that both these teams are heavily favoured to beat everyone they face in league play, and ultimately it doesn't matter whether one wins 3-0 and one wins 4-0, it'll be the rare slip-ups that determine the destination of the trophy. There's also the sea change which happened around the turn of the year. After the first games of January, City were streaking away with the league, but the Reds stormed back into contention, going unbeaten to the end of the season, catching up 9 of those 10 points while averaging 2.3 goals scored per game and allowing a hilarious 8 themselves in 18 fixtures. They were the best team in the world for those 6 months, and they did it while actually managing to press less than their rivals, with a passes per defensive action number of 8.4 to 8. That may not sound like much, because let's face it, it isn't, but dominating the opposition to a greater extent than City while working less hard is a great recipe for a sustained title challenge, as is the lack of AFCON this season, keeping Keita and Salah on Merseyside, with both also sitting out the World Cup. Admittedly, Haaland will miss that tournament too, but Salah is absolutely central to the Reds, and with just a point separating the clubs in 21-22, a month-long rest for their best player could be enough to hand Liverpool the advantage. As interesting as the numbers are, they failed to capture one major issue in the forthcoming campaign. We have no idea what these teams will really look like. Liverpool are still betting in Luis Diaz, have spent huge on Darwin Nunez, and Klopp faces his first full season without Sadio Mane, having let the Senegalese join Bayern Munich. City meanwhile will be hoping to see more from Jack Grealish, have let Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling depart, have signed Erling Haaland to lead the line, and could be set for a formation change, with Marc Cucurella heavily linked with the Etihad after a strong season as a wing-back. It's amazing, given the combined £174 million outlay so far, that neither team feels like they're taking a serious risk. Yes, City have remade the front line to maximise Haaland's goal output, keeping creators like Mahrez, Foden and Grealish over goal scorers like Sterling and Jesus, but still managed 99 in the Prem last year despite no recognised forward, meaning that even if Haaland gets injured or takes a while to settle, they'll still blow away the majority of sides. Liverpool, meanwhile, have taken a huge swing on Darwin Nunez after 26 goals in 21-22 doubled his career tally in league play. But if the Uruguayan disappoints, they can still field some combination of Firmino, Diaz, Jota and Salah, safe in the knowledge that their fullbacks chipped in 22 assists last term as well. There's no world where either attack is bad or even just okay, and while Haaland is the best addition in terms of actual talent, Liverpool still boast the best attacker in the division and have generally done a better job at keeping their forwards fit than City. It's impossible to choose between these clubs in front of goal. So we expect transfers to have a bigger effect elsewhere, and here City may have the edge. Last term, Rodri was indispensable to the champions, missing 7 games in the League and Champions League, of which City lost 2, drew 2 and won just 3. Confirmation of what the eye tells us, that the Spaniard is key to making the whole system tick. But Pep seems finally to have noticed this fragility in his squad, with Calvin Phillips arriving from Leeds for close to £44 million. That's the only first-team central midfield signing, other than Rodri, that City have made since Gundogan in 2016, and Phillips offers phenomenal energy and defensive output, with an insane 29 pressures and 5.6 tackles and interceptions per 90 last year, bettering everyone at City by 11 pressures and a whole defensive action each and every game. Liverpool, on the other hand, have endured a frustrating window in the middle of the park. Klopp had targeted reinforcements there after Milner, Jones and Oxlade-Chamberlain put up under 900 league minutes apiece, and Henderson started to show his age, dropping to 2.8 defensive actions a game, losing possession 3 times as often as the year before, and with passes into the final third falling from 11 per 90 to 6.5. But though it seemed they might solve the issue by securing Aurelien Tchouameni for a bargain €50 million, the Frenchman ended up heading to Real Madrid for roughly twice that, leaving the Reds facing another year with a midfield core of the Ox and Keita, both always injured and out of contract in 2023, 36-year-old Milner, 32-year-old Henderson, 31-year-old Thiago, who managed just 1,500 minutes last year, and Fabinho, who only started 2/3 of league fixtures. If everyone's fit, that's a perfectly good, even great selection to choose from. But throw in an injury or two, especially to Thiago or Fabinho, and things get dicey, either putting the defence under greater pressure or placing an even larger creative burden on the fullbacks and young Harvey Elliott. Unless Klopp has something special up his sleeve, or Pep does some galaxy brain meddling and hamstrings his own team for a few matches, it feels like the citizens have stolen a march on their scouse enemy in the market. As we've seen, we may not know exactly how these sides will play, but we can guess what title-winning campaigns would look like for each. For City, a fit Haaland slots seamlessly into the attack, filling the goal-scoring void left by Sterling and Jesus, while Rodri remains fit for most of the season, with Phillips offering solid relief against weaker teams. For Liverpool, it's perhaps a little more complicated, with some assortment of their forwards gelling quickly to fill the Mane void, Thiago and Fabinho staying on the pitch for 25 plus matches, and another spectacular year from Van Dijk and at least one other centre-back, giving them the defensive edge on their rivals, while hoping City suffer a key injury to their Norwegian forward or their Spanish midfield anchor. That path looks a little narrower for the Anfield outfit, and so we're predicting that the citizens wrap up another title to bring their tally overall to 9, level with Everton in 4th place on the all-time list. But it wouldn't take much to tip the balance towards Merseyside, and deep runs in Europe could complicate the picture, especially if Pep sees a chance to end his 11-year wait for another Champions League trophy. Whatever the outcome, these two teams have raised the league's level to previously undreamt of heights, changing our definition of a great side and pushing each other to innovate and develop every single season. We may not know who will be celebrating next summer, but we know the journey there will be a joy. So that's our take on what could prove one of the tightest and most exciting title races in years, but who do you think will come out on top? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, drop us a like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell and you'll never miss an upload. We'll see you next time.